Okay, I'll do a quick video just demoing how we set up our rider and how to do the blend shapes. So let's just bring in the rider. I haven't done this in a while, so let's see how smoothly this goes. Okay, there's the rider. So let's bring in some hair. Okay, so these are the ones that have been done already. So let's go to ones that I'll just put it off screen. Let's have a look. Go one folder up. Just one moment. Okay, try this one. Okay. Alright, so I pulled some hair in. You won't see it because of the helmet, so I'm just going to click on that helmet. I won't. You can just Control H. It'll just hide the helmet, but it's within the rider. You don't have to hide the chisel and stuff. I just normally do. This is cell phone as well. Just Control H and hide those. Just get the selection right. So many controllers here. There we go. Okay. Alright. The hair doesn't align because you just got to click on the character first. Just go to rigging. Skin. Let's just go to that same view. No. Same view. So under skinning, we just got to go bind pose, and then you can see it aligns now. So it's very important that you do that. Make sure we're happy with how the hair is looking. So it's placed correctly. Yeah, that should be good. It's a bit far back, but I think that's actually fine. Actually looks pretty good. Okay, so what we want to do is we won't be including the body when we export. We're just going to export the hair and the skeleton. Okay. So just keep that in mind. When we export, we're exporting the hair and the skeleton. But we have to just first skin that hair to that skeleton. Okay, so it's always good to delete the type history, modify, and freeze transforms. Just make sure that's done. Then click on the rider, click plus, so we're selecting everything. So click at the top of the hierarchy, and then shift click all the way to the bottom. And just one moment. Okay, so just make sure we've got everything selected. I think I do select the geophone. Doesn't really matter, I think. If it can't skin to the geophone, it won't. But yeah, then just make sure you've got the hair selected. Skin and bind skin, and this is the settings I use. One of the things I do is I think it's I allow maximum influences of 30 because sometimes you're adding influences from bones that you don't need, but it's always just better to do that way. I don't think it's easy to add them later, so just add them. So maintain max influences, don't remove unused influences, and max influences is at 30. And I say bind skin. Okay, so I'm not going to move the character now. Actually, I think I am. Let's have a look quickly. So if you can see everything is working quite well. Her hair is pulling a bit funny there, but now that's where the weight painting will come in, and we'll decide. We can adjust the weight painting to fix any of those strange deformations. Okay. So I won't go into the weight painting so much. So yeah, just to cover our bases, I'll show a little bit of this, the weight painting. So let's just see if we can fix this. Let's just see what's influencing this one. We'll just go through the list. And then we can just see if we can rectify that. I do sometimes copy the the weight painting from the previous hair across, and that actually saves a bit of time. So let's do that. I'm just going to import the first hairstyle that we got from the game. Yep, this is the one. So it's just adjusted our animation because you just imported something, it'll just reset the pose. Alright, so we can do select hair A. I think it's very important that we go to bind pose. It has to be on the body. If you copy skin weights and stuff like that, it's important to be in the bind pose. Okay, so we click on A, we click on hair M, we go skin, copy skin weights to show you my settings. Those are the ones I use. Okay, so we can just delete A now. So let's just see if that fixed our issue that we had earlier. Might actually have fixed it. It's alright, it moves around a lot, man. But yeah, I think just copying the skin weights has solved our problem. But if it doesn't, then you go into paint skin weights and you go and adjust it there. But it looks like just copying all the work that we've done previously. Ignore these stretchy, weird in-between keyframes. The animator just left them in there. But yeah, the hair looks good. Now the next step, we'll go back to the body, skin, go to bind pose. Let's import a hat, and then we're going to create a blend shape. Make sure that the hair fits will work for whatever hat we use. So if I go to hats, I think it was like a bucket hat. So I think it's sun hat. Sun hat is the one that I have been using the most. So let's import that. I don't see it. Okay, it's very big. That's alright. That's because the OBJ. OBJs do that sometimes. So let's just position this on the head. This one. So we'll get a size that we think looks good. And the thing with this hairstyle is you don't really have much clipping going on, but I'll show you the procedure regardless. So I don't think the sun hat is the best example, but let's just keep going with it. Because the sun hat doesn't really, it's a very forgiving hat. But let's have a look. Let's have a look, see. Let's move it up just a little bit and then scale it down just a tad. Okay, so let's just say, would that be how the player would wear it? Maybe. Let's move it forward just a smidge. Okay, so possibly. I see a character running around with a hat like that and they're on the beach. I would say that looks, you know, normal for the occasion. Now you can see it's got some clipping there. So what we need to do, make sure we're still in the bind pose, and we duplicate hair M. Okay, hair M has got no, it's the moment we duplicate it, it loses its skinning. So if we had to scrub through the timeline now, this hair M1 will stay behind, and the original hair M will still retain its skinning. So we're going to have to reskin this one. So all I'm going to just make sure is to go edit, delete by type history, modify freeze transforms. So its transforms are locked. So just highlight these transforms, right click, unlock. Let's go again, modify freeze transforms. Now what we want to do is, once again, shift click, expand the whole thing, and click the top, shift click the bottom, click hair M1, skin, bind skin, and then we can take the skin weights from hair M and transfer them to hair M1. Copy skin weights. Alright, now hair M1 is going to follow along. Okay, so, alright, all good. So let's go back to bind pose on frame. What is that? Frame 0.8. That's very strange, but sure. Skin, go to bind pose. Okay, now with hair M1, I'm going to add under modeling, going to add deform lattice. Okay, that's too many lattice points for what we need. Okay, so just go under options and reduce that to say 5 and 5. Apply. Yeah, that's okay. So now we can just go and we make sure we were on here M1s. Yeah, so got lattice points. Now I can grab, say, these lattice points and bring them in. So we won't see a change because hair M is blocking it. So I'm going to hide that, Control H. Let's try again. So if we go to lattice points and I grab these points here, and move them in, you can see the hair moving. And see, now we're removing and reducing that clipping. Sometimes you don't want to grab the front because then it's affecting that hairline. So we cannot include those. And we can just bring it in. See, it still looks good. So we'll bring it into the point where it's no longer clipping. And I would probably, when I do things like that, depends on the hairstyle, but I would, what I do to the left, I would do to the right. So easy way of doing that is just using scale. And we can just bring it in with the scale. Okay, just like that. Okay, and there we've got our blend shape. Now you would use a hat that, oh, see, you've still got issues there as well. We've got a variety of different hats. There's another hat that I use. I'm pretty sure it's not the sun hat. It's like I think it's like a snow hat kind of thing. It's pretty much the extreme case where it causes a lot of clipping. And I make sure that this blend shape I make fits that hat. And once we provide the devs with that blend shape, it's got a slider, and you can go from it not doing anything to the hair to gradually scaling the hair down that it fits the extreme case of where it's clipping through that bucket hat or whatever hat it is. Okay, so there you can see I've reduced the clipping there as well. So what you can do is on hair M, once you're happy with all that, you go to you can actually just go edit, delete by type history. Now it's committed that to hair M. And let me just see if I can remember the order. I believe I select hair M and M1, which is the blend shape. I'll just call it okay. Then we select hair M. I believe this is the order. And then we click on blend shape. Now under blend shape you should generally give it a name, so we'd probably call it hair, because there we go, M underscore hat underscore blend shape. Okay, and create. So now if we click on we can hide hair M, we can hide the hat for now. If we go under Windows, Animation Editors, and Shape Editor, there you can see is our blend shape. And this top one, the slider, defines sort of the percentage, the strength of that blend shape, if you've got different things under that blend shape. But if you've only got one thing under that blend shape, essentially it functions the same. But it's currently, you have to have them both at 1, or normal terms 100% for it to work. So you leave the top one at 1, and then the bottom one you can see, you can manipulate it. Now you can see we've got a little bit of issues happening here, and I would then go and fix that. So we don't want to mess with the hairline. I would go change the original mesh to make sure that we don't have that issues. But for this example, just showing how the workflow, you can see there it's adjusting to accommodate for the hat. So once in-game a player enables a hat, then for that particular hat the developers will enable this setting, and then there's no more clipping there. Then when you export, all you need to do is because this hair is skinned to this rig, you need to select the rig as well, so the hair and the rig, We don't need to include the blend shape. We don't need to include the rider, and we don't need to include the hat. Okay, so alright, so we are exporting just that. Alright, so if we close that, you go File, Export Selection. Here is my options. So I've got Smooth Mesh on, Export Animation is on, but Bake Animation is on. So for these, we might be able to not export animation because we won't be needing the animation. Because it's going to bloat the file, so don't include animation. So turn animation off and then just export your FBX. So that will be a fully rigged hair with blend shape, but it won't have any of the animations. But the developers will be feeding those animations to the character from the original character's rig. So there's no need for us to re-include those animations each time. So if you turn animations, it won't bake them either. You might have to actually leave animation on and just turn off bake animation, because if you turn animation off completely, you lose blend shapes. So just don't bake animation, but leave animation on so that these still work. Okay, and then just export your FBX. Yep, all the best. Take care.